Today I will tell you about a romantic comedy film called Sam. Just leave a like on this video, sit back and relax. A woman-hating bigot named Sam sits in a bar overhearing women chatting among themselves and crying over a drama TV show showing on the bar's television, much to his annoyance as he tries to get the barkeep to put on a football game, only to get yelled at. His best friend Andrew, a gynecologist, walks in and the two chat for a while about Sam having the only gynecologist in New York City before Andrew's fiancée calls, again to the annoyance of Sam, who calls her the devil. The next day, Sam arrives at the office and flirts with his boss's assistant before heading to his boss's office, where the two a-holes discuss their female coworkers and their escapades with women. After work, Sam meets up with his male coworkers and Andrew to celebrate another one of his coworkers' bachelor's party, where they invite strippers to keep their company, if you know what I mean. Sam stumbles out of the party drunk as a bat and stumbles into a shop of weird items where he meets the odd shopkeeper, who hands him a cup of tea to help with his drunkenness. The two chat about relationships and Sam's view on women and why he hates and uses women so much. The shopkeeper tells him a story about the value of women and Sam asks for the direction to 7th Avenue. As Sam leaves, he says to the shopkeeper, "See you later," and the shopkeep replies in a whisper, "Yes you will." The next morning Sam rolls out of bed and heads over to the bathroom to take a leak, but screams when he cannot find his man-thing. He begins to freak out as he realizes that he has transformed into a woman and decides to head over to Andrew's office. He barges into the office and tries to convince Andrew that he is Sam by telling him about things that only Sam would know. However, Andrew just believes that Sam told the strange yelling lady everything about him and runs her out of his office. He heads back over to his apartment and tries to call Andrew, but Andrew keeps asking to speak with Sam and hanging up, interrupting Andrew's fiancée trying to get it on with him. Sam decides to type a letter explaining his absence from work and that his cousin Samantha will be assisting in the office, much to his boss's delight. Samantha turns up at the office hardly able to keep her act together, complimenting her assistant on her nice dress before heading over to the boss's office. Sam tries to get down to business right away, but his boss has other ideas, wanting to get to know Samantha a little better, asking her out on a date. Andrew tries to make things up with his fiancée, however gets a call from his friend Johnny with the results of a DNA test that he had done on a lock of Samantha's hair. The results are astonishing as Samantha and Sam are an exact match. Andrew heads over to Sam's apartment, where the two try to find a way to get this issue fixed. Andrew takes Sam back to the shop, where he met the old man. However, there has been no shop at the location for over 50 years. Sam tries to evade his boss's advance throughout the office, who suggests that he gets a makeover, wear something a little tighter and maybe show some cleavage. He tries to hug her and she loses it and storms off to a bar where guys keep making crude advances towards her, so she cancels her drink and heads back home. Sam wakes up one morning and sees blood and rushes over to Andrew's apartment, where he tells her that she is having her period and tells her to get tampons. Sam finally transforms fully into a woman, taking classes on how to be graceful and getting a full makeover. She turns up at Andrew's office fully made over, much to his surprise. The two argue about how things have changed and that Sam being a female has made things complicated between Andrew and his fiancée before Sam decides that he wants to return to being a male and wants Andrew's help. Sam hugs Andrew to thank him for his help and things start to get weird. They both go out to eat, where they start to like each other's company. Sam gets a text regarding a meeting and quickly heads over. However, instead of discussing business, the client tries to flirt with Samantha. After her presentation, Sam chats with Melissa, his assistant, who confesses that she really likes Sam, and this slowly begins to open his eyes. Andrew accidentally calls his fiancée Sam while sleeping, and she gets upset and suspects that he and Sam were having an affair and that he is into guys. Stressed out, Andrew meets up with Sam at the park, where they usually play football with the guys. After much arguing, she insists on playing. During the play, the guys all pile Sam and rope her, to the frustration of Andrew, who gets upset at Samantha again at how much things have changed. Sam gets upset and decides to leave her apartment, packing in tears as she curses Steve, who turns up with a bottle of wine as a peace offering. The two chat and Andrew ends up giving Sam a massage, which they both obviously enjoy as Sam begins to get turned on, much to his surprise. After Andrew excuses himself to go to the restroom, his fiancée turns up to confront Sam about taking her man. She tries to buy off Sam by offering her money to leave Andrew alone. Andrew comes out and confronts her about her behavior and breaks things off completely with her. Instead of being upset, Andrew is relieved that things are over and invites Sam to be his date to his friend's wedding. They both go shopping for a dress and Andrew is extremely uncomfortable when a beautiful Sam steps out in a black dress. That night Sam pleasures herself and turns up to Andrew to discuss this, as she had problems before with getting her female parts to work. She tells Andrew that things have been better and have been working fine since she has met someone who makes it work. To Andrew's surprise, he is the one that makes her work. They both get awkward and Andrew is lost for words that his best friend, turned female, has the hots for him. Sam finally gets brave and the two spend the night cuddling. Sam arrives home to a letter under his door with the name of the shop where he met the old man before heading out to the wedding with Andrew. At the reception, the two share a dance together, then they share a kiss. As they drive away from the reception, they see the shop that Sam had walked into. Sam gets out and walks into the store, to Andrew's disappointment as he stands outside wondering what to do. Suddenly his face lights up as he sees Samantha walk out of the store into his arms and his life forever. Thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button.